Hey, what's up guys, Mashin here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Now at 8 p.m. on May 9th, Valve went ahead and dropped a bombshell in the form of a brand new online code of conduct. This is something that has not happened in quite a while, which we'll mention how long it's been since they've updated this, but the biggest thing is there's a brand new one out and there's a lot to go over. The sponsor for today's video is SkinsMonkey. Now SkinsMonkey is the quickest, easiest, and most importantly, safest way to go ahead and trade your CSGO skins. Now SkinsMonkey is super easy to use. You just have to take your item, take the item you want, and just go ahead, apply code MasterShiny to get your free $5 if it's your first trade, and just click trade. And if you've got no money to spend right now, they've got two ways for you to get some. First is just heading over and topping up. Make sure to use code MasterShiny for a free 5% there, and they've also got the freebies section where you can go ahead and enter free raffles that happen every single day. And as always, thank you so much SkinsMonkey. Make sure you're using the top link in the description to claim your free $5 today. Now talking about the history of the code of conduct real quick, you've probably never heard of it, and that's for a very good reason. In fact, it's been out since 2009 and has never been updated in the 14 years before this past week. If we want to look at a comparison, you can see the 2009 version of it and the version from about a week ago, and notice that it's pretty much the exact same, just with a couple extra bullet points. Take that, and now we finally got our brand new updated version after 14 years. I can't say that's really a surprise for me, and probably shouldn't be a surprise for you. Now, what's actually inside of this brand new code of conduct? There's a lot of things, but the truth is not all of them are new. If we want to look at a comparison, you can see here, just looking by the colored boxes, a lot of these things over here on the left hand side seem to just be coming from that right hand side. You can look at the green boxes, which are pretty much a one-to-one copy of what we're seeing, just with a couple extra words. And the truth is, most of these boxes are roughly saying that over there on the right hand side, and they're just a little bit more open about what specifically they mean, because looking at that right hand side, it's quite condensed, and over here on the left hand side, you can see they've opened it up a little bit, giving you a little bit more context. But the big question is, what is everyone freaking out about, and what is actually new about this brand new code of conduct? Well, there are a couple new things. As you can see, not everything is boxed up. If we were to break it down on how it would look without taking in everything that's repeated, it would look precisely like this, which is probably why you haven't and will continue to not see it anywhere else. However, even looking at this, there are still some things we can go ahead and say we've seen other places inside of the overall thousands of web pages that Steam has. The first of which is talking about commercial activity, and this is in fact pretty much exactly seen inside of the actual Steam-powered terms of service in their EULA. It's not something that's brand new, but rather it's brand new for a lot of people that they've explicitly seen it, because this is an upfront and personal look into what Valve is exclusively targeting right now. And I think that's the biggest thing around this. We've seen a lot of these things in the past, including cheating. If you want to look at cheating, you can see that there are other places where cheating are mentioned inside of the specific subscriber agreement. A lot of these things are not brand new, but they're brand new to so many people because we can see that Valve is actively looking at these things right now. So then coming back to what we mentioned before, there's not actually a ton of new stuff about this, but this is very important because we can see what specifically is Valve targeting and is trying to take down in this specific situation. And this has happened before. This is quite similar to what we saw when we had our big gambling epidemic back in 2016-2017. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen again here. Not specifically that we're going to see anything really happen because of this update, but what it's going to lead to down the line. Now there's one specific term that's a little bit vague, but it's used quite often, and that's commercial activity. Now commercial activity is quite a broad term, but inside of CSGO we have some very concrete evidence of what Valve means by commercial activity, and that has to do with the website OpSkins. If you're not familiar with OpSkins, it was the first big CSGO marketplace, and the fact was they were shut down by Valve. In fact, you can see the exact DM, or at least one of the exact messages that was sent right here, and you can see they're saying that OpSkins is using commercial activity and therefore they need to go. However, there's one key piece of information that I'm explicitly leaving out. And that's the fact that OpSkins was trying to get around Valve. The thing was, OpSkins had just launched their brand new feature called Express Trade, which allowed you to get around their 7-day cooldown, which they just had recently implemented. And that 7-day cooldown was because of all the gambling that was going on in that specific area. As you can see, there's a common trend. Valve tries to do something, people consistently avoid it, and then Valve makes it very, very hard and completely destroys whatever's happening in that area. If we want to look at market impacts from that time, there was not a whole bunch going on in terms of cases because the market was drastically smaller than it is now. I mean, breakout cases were 3 cents, but you can see that some skins like the AK Redline did have a brief dip down in price, although it seemed like they recovered quite well because there was still a lot of confidence in the area, and the reason that Valve had tried to take down OP skins was because they were explicitly going against them. So coming back to the big question of what is the specific impact that we're going to see here, well, I think we could start off with a couple things. First of all, this is probably just the ground floor. I don't really expect anything to specifically come of this, but I think this is just something that Valve is going to continually work off for the future. In my opinion, this is almost a strategic defense that Valve is putting up against another lawsuit. If you didn't know, there was a lot of lawsuits that happened because of the 2016 gambling epidemic, but the thing is, Valve got those charges dismissed, specifically the most recent one being just about a year ago, and that's because of a technicality. They didn't prove that they weren't doing anything bad, they won because of a slight technicality, and the truth is, if it came up again in a different scenario more recently, it's very possible that they could lose and have to pay out a significant amount of money. I think, in my opinion, this is just Valve setting up another barrier of defense, so if that ever does come around again, they can say, look, we even explicitly put out a brand new code of conduct just so this thing would stop, and it obviously didn't. However, if we want to head back to that code of conduct, we've really gone over engaging in commercial activity and cheating. Both of these are quite straightforward. The last one I want to talk about is disrupt, damage, or manipulate Steam. This one's kind of up for interpretation because obviously what is specifically manipulating other content on Steam? We don't exactly know if this is relative to the Steam market. We've obviously seen a lot of bans being handed out. I made a whole video about how Valve is getting a little bit more strict with their bans. You can't even leave comments on profiles anymore. That's how strict they're getting with bans. I would say, in my opinion, if there's anything to be particularly concerned about coming from this total document, I would say that's the biggest one of my concern, at least at this moment, because the other ones are a little bit more explicit. Obviously, we know that selling content and using third-party sites has actually always been against the Steam terms of service. That's nothing new, and it seems like even though there's a little bit of a crackdown, it's not going to happen for long. Think about how long these sites have been operating for and have never really received much, if any, pushback. Valve knows they're crucial to their overall ecosystem they've created with skins, and I can't see them actually doing anything to harm that. But talking about manipulating a price on Steam, what exactly does that entail? That's the part I'm most disappointed about this because we don't know exactly what that means. We've seen it, a lot of people have been getting banned when they sell things at the top, and even though most of them get unbanned, it's obviously not the way we want to go around things. It's just a very concerning area because it puts a little bit of fear into everyone's mind. Obviously, the odds of you getting banned by selling a Copenhagen Flames sticker up 30% is very low, but the truth is it's not zero, and when it should be zero, that's the part that's very concerning. But that's all I got for today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.